whichever way the door opens. My intention is once everybody's ready, I'll go ahead and open the door, but I'm going to do it so that the others have a clearer line of fire.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Can you repeat what you just said? I was fixing something on the OBS stream. I realized it wasn't recording any audio.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So basically what I was saying is that Sorak will move to there, ready his axe, basically for any surprises coming through the door. I'm to move to the other side of the door, which will only grasp the easiest and either push it in or pull it whichever way the door opens up. I'm just basically my intention from the door, from the side of the door to the Veritan and Arista and sort out clearer line.
Okay, this door is, as I said, it looks very much like the door in the other room. It's made of the same material and just has a very simple handle, no apparent locks or anything. And if you to give it just the slightest touch, you can see it also will open. Seems like it will open roughly like the other one.
Okay, well, I'll look back, make sure everybody's ready, and once that's the case, then I'll open that door.
Okay, you give it a little bit of a shove, and 1 second. And as the door sort of swings quickly open, and it makes actually more of a thump this time, hitting the far wall, you look in and you notice that the room is occupied. And you see inside several worm-like creatures and several what can best be described as very short, tiny, not tiny, but knee-high. Actually, I guess that would be chest-high to Sorak. Creatures that look sort of demon-like, have little wings on their back, and they seem to move unnaturally fast. And it's time for initiative.
I feel like we've seen something like this before, at least the flying creatures.
Do we get any advantage given that we were, at least I was ready with my bow?
Sure, I will give it to you. They were sitting behind a door, sort of busy with themselves, so they did not see you. They didn't see you coming, and then the door swung open, and they all turned their heads at once. And USU will get a free surprise round. So we'll start with Vartan.
I'm going to make a mental note to talk to the group about how often we open doors and just kill whatever's there instead of, trying to talk to anything.
Yeah, maybe for another time when we haven't got nasty little beasties trying to kill us.
Hey, they haven't tried to kill us yet.
They will do in a minute.
Yeah, you could sit around and wait, give up your surprise initiative.
When they've got an arrow in their head. Yeah. Okay, Impy Imp, number 1.
I'm just saying maybe next time we could knock.
Despite what it says, this is going to be with Black Fletched Arrow. Oh no! Miss, really? Oh.
I should note too that at the back of the room there is a door, but the door has been sort of opened in a destructive way, so it looks like it was hacked open at straight across from you, so you can actually see beyond the door and into a very dark space. So there are actually 5 creatures here. But next will be Sorak.
Okay. Then Sorak will barge inward. Mindful of not blocking lines of fire, he's going to position himself there and attack two with his axe. Okay. Can you still hear me okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So it looks like he cleaved them down. So Tor is going to, brandishing his flail, he's going to move forward and engage that flesh crawler. Ouch. So it's max damage. That's 8. And then another D8, is that correct?
What was it, D4 or D6, I think? D6. D6, I think.
Okay, so it's just max damage and then a D6. Okay. All right, so 13 to that flesh crawler 2.
If only I had fire pebble.
Starts out as a pebble.
It's always got a 40-foot radius.
You're saying
Sorry.
at least your hand is like a pebble.
It's a 40-foot diameter, but still, it's quite large. And I never get to go ahead of you guys, so this would have been a perfect situation if I had been the first one to go, because it would have just blasted the room. But no, now you guys are standing in it, so let's just shoot at them instead.
The eternal frustration of the mage.
Well, Mark, did it hit him?
It did not.
Oh, I see. It says miss. Sorry. Yeah, so I guess I'm done. I moved a little and I took my shot and came up empty. Oh, man!
I like it. I like it. Finally, the NPCs can actually get a decent roll.
It was nice knowing you, Sorak.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Now I've said something, and this is going to be it. After this, it'll all be ones. All right, so he needs to take...
What's his total?
Sorry, I forget I got to push this key. So hang on a second. So 5, 11, and 6, 17.
What?
So he had 8.
Ow.
He should have 25.
Ow, ow, ow. I'm not going near those things.
Like I said, one of these days we should probably just try knocking.
Yeah. Okay. That can be your job.
Those those were bites, by the way. I'm sorry, I neglected to describe it, but it has big mouths. Or they have big mouths, rather.
I'm not able to adjust his wound count, so Mark, he should have 25 wounds right now.
Ouch! So he already had some coming into the fight.
As far as I know, I have some too. So I didn't make any changes because I don't remember us getting rid of it.
Yeah, no, I think it's about right. I do recall there was a battle, there was a bit of wound, and I don't think you took a full like heal everything up kind of break.
So he pivots, sending a whistling strike at the worm or creature, but looks like he missed.
Very unusual for him.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
All right, yeah. So the imp at the very back of the room will fly forward towards Sorak and miss with his bite. And Tor, you're up.
Okay, follow-up attack on the flesh crawler. Shoot.
These things. Okay. Is one of the flesh crawlers is wounded? Yes.
Yeah, the one next to me.
Yeah, wounded as
yeah.
in.
You are two people. Number 2 or number 1?
Core.
Okay. I'm going to take my next shot at flesh crawler number 2. Especially after seeing him take a chunk out of someone like that. Again, black fletched arrow.
I
So yeah, that's 10 damage plus whatever off the black fletched arrows.
It's 23 plus black flesh.
Okay, and that will be enough to render it unconscious.
Good. Vartan's happy with his positioning otherwise, so he'll just ready his next arrow.
Same thing. And same miss.
Besides, I think you could fireball the doorway and just past the doorway, maybe the entrance of room 5, and the fireball would just lick at the backs of the line of creatures there. Can always try. Hey, what's this regeneration 1? No.
Okay, we got to go back on that. When you sunk that arrow into that flesh crawler, the flesh crawler started to, as it was dying, it started to vibrate really quickly and explodes, spewing a foul-smelling ichor all over the place in hordes of tiny maggots. And we need both Tor and Sorak to make a dex save.
Man, I'm glad I use a ranged weapon.
Good. Dang, that's my point, he said sarcastically.
And all four of you need a con save, please. All right, Tor fails it.
I don't know why it didn't roll in the thing. It rolled out of it. It was a pretty decent roll, too.
Phew. All right, so Varatan and Tor, witnessing this, actually, I guess Sorak too. Sorry, the three of you witnessing. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Okay, so Tor manages to narrowly avoid retching everywhere, but he does get hit with the nasty maggots and flesh, so he will enjoy 1 point of damage. And let's see, Vartan also does not avoid losing his lunch over witnessing the grotesqueness. Saratan avoids getting hit, but he also loses his lunch. And it looks like Aresta, you also avoid losing your lunch as well. So Sorak, Vartan, and Tor. Wait, Vartan and Sorak both are sickened for 1 round.
Okay, so just make sure I'm up to speed here. So missed the dex check, so took the damage, but made the contribution, so he doesn't retch. Sorak made the dex, but missed the constitution, so he's what happened to him for?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let me try this again. So Tor misses the dex, took some damage, 1 point of damage, and did not lose his lunch. Vartan lost his lunch. Sorak did not get hit, but lost his lunch, and Arista has been there, done that.
So what's the effect of losing lunches, or penalty or combat penalty?
Yeah, they're just sickened for a round, so they'll only be able to make like one action, because they're spending half their time throwing up.
I'm disappointed in the gift that you've posted, Pete. Clearly, you don't. You are not nerd enough. I'm taking your nerd card away.
Not nerd enough. Because it failed to animate. Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
No, because there's a better version.
A better version.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, there's a movie Stand By Me that had Will Wheaton in it. And Will Wheaton's character actually tells a story about how one person got sick and it made everybody else sick, and it just became this big old vomit circus.
Yeah, the best.
Oh, I thought you were going to.
They're all spewing blueberry.
What's that?
Bad taste when they're all drinking vomit and someone says, "Aren't I lucky? I got a chunky bit." If you don't know Bad Taste, it's one of the original Michael Jackson films, long before he was famous. Yeah. Peter Jackson, sorry, Michael Jackson. Peter Jackson, long before he was famous.
I was going to say, I didn't know Michael Jackson made films.
Yeah. Sure, thriller. But no, Peter Jackson's films back in the day.
Meanwhile, Mark's over here just rolling stuff.
That's all right. I'm sure it's going to hurt just as much as... I know. Oof. I like those rolls.
All right, back at the top of the order.
Back at the top. Vartan, you're up.
So, I believe Vartan was saying... and then looses a shot at Imp 3 before saying... and misses somewhat due to the excessive vomiting. And isn't up to do much else.
Projectile.
Yeah. Every type of projectile.
Oh, this is getting worse.
Please roll a 1d6.
If you clunk Tor on the back of his head, I think his day is going to be... was it Sorak who got clobbered earlier?
Now, roll again for another attack against Sorak.
No. Poor Sorak.
It didn't roll that bad.
You rolled under 4.
And I miss again.
Well, that's good.
This is good.
Oh, it didn't show up.
No, it shows that you rolled a 10. And lucky for you, Sorak is armed to the from floor to ceiling, so I imagine he doesn't care if you try to fire past him, through him, around him, at him, near him. Thor might mind though.
A little more.
All right, it's up to you, Tor.
All right, I'm going to direct another attack at imp number 3.
It must be the green dice.
Yeah.
All right, the flesh crawler's gonna rear up. It senses prey is very clear, and it smells the blood on Sorak. So it is going to rear up with 6 claws. And that was one of them. How come it did not roll 6 claws? Why not? And it critted with one of them.
Crit fumble.
Crit fumble another.
All right, well, let's deal with the crit first. So that is 1d4, so 4 plus 6. So 9 points of damage to Sorak.
Oh, crap.
Sorak will crumple to the floor. Kind of makes the other claws. Well, it doesn't make them moot, but yeah, as you pointed out, he actually missed. You know what? A miss on a claw attack is
Not ranged.
not ranged, and it's not a weapon, so we're just gonna roll past that. Anyway, imp 2.
He's dying. Imp 2 is dying.
Oh, this is right. Yes, sorry. And so is Sorak actually. So we're back to Flesh Crawler 1 again. And sensing another victim in the room, it crawls over to Tor and hits you for 3 points of damage. Nope, sorry, 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, switching back to Flesh Crawler 1. Again, Black Fletched Arrows. Oof.
Oh, it skipped them correctly this time. All right, Tor, you're up.
Okay. I am going to attempt to drag Sorak out of the room. Basically, they try to put him here. So that would probably provoke an opportunity. I don't know for sure, but that's my intent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mark it again where you were dragging him to.
Right there.
If he's dragging him, they're both out of the room, right?
True. But as he's doing that, he's going to give... Well, let's see. Which one of these imps is still alive? The one at the back of the room, I believe.
Yeah. One is alive and Fleshcrawler 1 is alive. But I don't know that imp 1 would get an attack opportunity, right? I mean, he's not in me.
Right. No, so he's not really concerned. But it's that worm that's standing right there. So as you bend over to grab Sorak, he's going to take another couple swipes at you.
Okay. Swing away, creature.
Yep, and as you drag him back through, it sees its opportunity. Takes 2 bites. The first one misses, the second one lands, and he scrapes quite a bit of flesh off of your arms as they're fixed, or as they're working to try to lift Sorak up and out of the room.
Okay. What was the total?
6 damage.
It's already deducted, though, I think.
Yeah, it should have already been deducted, so.
Okay.
And you can go, yeah, I was going to say, go ahead and move. And Arista, you're up. Now you don't have to worry about shooting into melee.
Yeah, don't stop dragging. It's about to get really hot in here.
Girl, it's getting hot in here.
Okay, so I am going to cast Fireball, and I am going to focus the center of it on the far door. And that should make the radius of it come out to the door that we're at. So what do you need me to do?
Well, there's no roll to attack, so just roll the damage. And actually, yeah, roll the damage because it will matter because the flesh crawler's not exactly he's neither wounded nor easy to kill. And as you sort of lob your wonderful glowy ball of loving flame, it explodes, kisses every creature in the room except for you. You feel the blast of the heat kind of puff out at you, the four of you, and you can see that the imps are clearly burning well, and the flesh crawler itself is not doing well. It's writhing around on the ground. Its skin has ignited, and it is continuing to burn. Does that have a lasting burn effect, or is that just if it catches other things on fire, they burn? I think it's a one and done kind of thing.
I think it's a one and done. Fills the area with intense fire and heat. Causes 1d6 damage per caster level to all creatures and objects within the area. Ignites combustibles, damages objects, melts anything with a low melting point. Creates almost no pressure. And needs but a small lump of coal.
No pressure.
Yeah.
So maybe you felt the heat but didn't feel like any kind of puff of hot wind come out at you.
Yeah, I guess so.
I do hope you said as you cast it, regenerate this. I'm still bitter about those imps having some level of regeneration.
Oh. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it detonates with a low roar. And of course, wait, was the entry just 20 feet tall or the whole room 20 feet tall?
No, most of the places that you are in, actually I should say everywhere you've been so far, the ceilings are at least 20 feet high.
Great, so I could even have set that thing off, 15, 17 feet off the ground.
Airburst them.
Yeah, I think you did fine. I mean, these creatures were on the ground, so... or fluttering right above it, in the case of the imps.
Yay!
Sorak is out of it, so we're on to the next round. So Vartan, you're up.
Okay, I carefully weigh up all of the targets I have to choose from and settle upon the flesh crawler. Draw back the bow, take careful aim, and loose with one of my few remaining black flesh arrows that are in my quiver. Huzzah! See? Description for the win.
Nice.
Okay, and a little damage.
Well, it's not happy about that, but it's less happy about that thing that threw the Bernie.
Did it hurt? That's a critical fail.
Yep, but as I've already said, critical failing on a claw attack is really... There's no, it's not like he can fumble his claw off of his body. So.
Break his nail, clip it on the floor, like, oh no!
Sprain the muscle.
A finger.
What, 1 round lost due to looking for a nail file to repair the damage?
Scratch himself.
Overwhelmed by embarrassment.
Well, these are all very amusing, but I'm not sure I'm buying any of them so far.
Okay, I'm going to apply a spell to Zorak to stop the bleeding for one there. It does 1d2, so I guess even as one, odd is 2. Oops, I messed up. Okay, so 1 point of damage back to him, and that's going to be my. Sorak is going to lie there, breathing semi-heavily as I continue my ministrations.
I'm gonna hit him with my stick.
Don't forget, he's going to look up you with loving eyes like, oh, thank you. You're always there to get my can out of the fire. Oh, wait,
Okay,
there's a burning worm. Arista must be around.
This is really frustrating because I rolled that stupid thing in the window and it didn't do it. And it rolled a 19.
That is disappointing. They're respectable.
What's wrong with that? You beat the Bernie Crawley thing. And it
It
seems to be...
As I did it with my...
You incinerate them and then you just bludgeon them to a bleeding pulp on the floor.
Crispy critter.
I hope you're proud of yourself. We didn't even knock.
I know, right? All right, guys. So now's the time to have this conversation, I think. Next time maybe we should consider knocking. Checking to see if they really are evil bad guys before we decide to kill them.
Barton
Just saying, we don't have to kill everything, you murder hobos.
Well, slow down.
On it twice lightly and looks over at Arista and say, is that better?
Well, before you get there, I need Tor, Arista, and Sorak to make dex saves. So Sorak, I think, will take a -4 penalty for being on the ground and groggy.
You know what the difference here is? I changed my dye color.
That can have an impact. I think it's been scientifically proven.
Somehow, Sorak manages to avoid it. Now I need everyone to make another con save.
Oh! That's brutal.
Yeah.
Torque wakes up and Tor goes down.
Now my gif is appropriate.
Yes, and let's see. Tor can take 2 points of damage from the exploding flesh maggots.
Retching.
And yes, a little bit more retching goes on, although it really isn't going to harm you at the moment because you're sort of out of combat. So
once I've finished sort of emptying my stomach, I'm going to sort of weakly make gesture for everybody to sort of gather in closely. If anybody's been wounded, I'm going to see if we can. Tuvos will heal us a little bit so that we can continue on. So if you've been wounded at all, come close, please. And then once everybody that wants to has, I'm going to cast my healing circle. That's 2d8 for everybody that's in a 20-foot circle. Okay, this is for Sorak. It's 9 points back. I get 8 points back.
It's not enough. We should rest.
I've got enough for one more of those.
Well, maybe I'll be the one to go peek into the next room and see if there's anything left alive in there.
Now keep in mind you're carrying a big lantern, right? So
Yeah, I figure
What's the
there's nothing
range?
alive in that 20-foot radius there.
nope, there isn't. Now what's the throw on that lantern?
It says 30.
Okay, so right at the edge of your visible light there, you notice there's seems to be a very large hole in the floor. Perhaps some sort of crack or crevice. Hard to see where it begins and ends at this point, obviously, but you'll also notice there are things moving in this room.
I would like to listen. Do I hear the flow of water or lava?
Give me a check. Wisdom check, please.
Moving nearby or on the other side of the room?
In the room that she's looking into with her lantern. You don't hear any other sounds other than the sound of something large sort of scuttling across the floor, inching across the floor.
Okay, I'm going to turn around and say we need to get out of here, like, now. There's something bigger coming.
All right, so just as you turn around and say that, not whispering, I might add, from behind you, you can, out of the corner of your eye, see large worm-like creatures that seem to be shambling towards you.
Yeah, I don't care about being quiet. I'm saying let's get out of here.
I was Sorak up, and well, I guess we'll begin to move out.
Well, hold on. So, Arista, you need to go back to where you were. And another large worm appears just out of the corner of your eye as you turn to go back. So this will be, again, the start of a new round of initiative. I'll let you act, Arista, and then we'll start at the top of the order. So go ahead.
Can I throw another fireball?
Sure. Throw blindly into the room. Go for it.
I'd say the priority is getting out, but if you like, yeah. Because if you just move, you've got a double move if you're going to cast the fireball.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'm going to turn tail and run and suggest to everybody else they do the same.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead. Move your movement, which, 30 feet?
But I'm going to run, so it's double move, yeah?
Sure. So you had turned and you said, I forgot exactly what you said. You said something, but then you saw something moving. So now you're free to scream, talk calmly, whatever you want to do next.
We need to leave now. There are more of those wormy things coming.
I find your lack of emotion unconvincing.
However, I find your speedy retreat somewhat convincing.
The fact that you kept running.
We'll assume Sorak is ambulatory at this point, so he's still a little dazed, perhaps, but he is at least aware of enough of his surroundings to realize when he should be baiting a hasty retreat.
And he's got 10 hit points. So at least he's not like teeter edge.
So what are we doing at this point? You're fleeing the cavern, the cave.
We vacate the place formerly known as Dodge.
You know, there is a door back there we could just shut.
Nope, I'm not locking myself in here. No. Although we could lock ourselves in. They could just.
I don't know how we'd be locking ourselves in. We could shut the door between 2 and 3.
Got a good point.
Yeah. I don't seem to recall it being that much of an impediment, though.
And seeing as they're worms, it's not like they really have, thumbs. But I'm going to suggest that somebody with more than 10 hit points go back and do that.
So I will say if that is what needs to be done, then I shall do it. We'll begin
no,
heading.
We can leave the door. I don't think it's going to save us anything. And it's just risking our lives for no real benefit if we just get out of here.
Your decision. So I will continue moving then back down, I guess, towards the
It
exit.
takes one more imp somewhere back there to open the door for them, and our risk is worth nothing. So
Good point.
Weren't you just saying it was eerily desolate in the area?
It was.
eerily so, yes.
There was thick dust everywhere.
Okay, so you're outside into, we will say, late afternoon. Just because I don't recall exactly what time we left the burning down in the L caverns.
Can we go check that out maybe and see if it's somewhere we can go back into yet?
Yeah, I'd say probably another 30 minutes have passed since you've been that way. I think the issue is that going back to the notion of the smoke and soot, there was no real ventilation, I think, was the issue at hand. But I think in the interest of moving things along, we'll just assume it's clear enough that if you don't spend too long in there, you could probably get around without too much lung damage.
Okay, the area we're most interested in is the room 4 to 5, where the fire was. Let's see if we can see what happened in room 4. Although, if that nasty thing did somehow, by some miracle, survive. Tor, Arista.
What? Did you ask a question? You kind of broke off there.
I was saying, if by some miracle, whatever it was in room 4 survived the blaze, we're probably not in a good position to deal with it. So
No,
maybe
I
we
wholeheartedly
should hurry to
Yeah.
check it.
I
So we
agree
could leave the
with
trap
that.
there. We could head back down to, where did we rest before? Room 3 in Cavern A, I think we rested.
Cabernet.
Or am I mistaken?
Well, we certainly could. That's it's a secret. So
Yeah, I
unless
remember we
somebody's familiar with it, they wouldn't be able.
through secret doors to secure ourselves up in room 3 in the past.
Well, again,
Okay. And I'll do the same as last time. And at the secret door from room 1, I will put a, what was my rune called again? Watchful Eye rune. Sounds alarms if it detects specific actions. So basically I'll have an alarm if the secret door to room 1 is open.
if we get Tucker, I'm
Joining
going to
us,
operate.
Arista?
I'm sorry, I don't think I caught either of you there.
So I have a rune called Watchful Eye. It sounds an alarm if a specific action is detected. So I'm setting a Watchful Eye to set an alarm if the secret door to room 1, Cavern A, is opened, and then we're all pitching up in room 3 in Cavern A.
Yep, like I got that part, but I think Tor covered you at the very last thing. What did you say, Tor?
I was just saying that once we get Tucker here, I'm going to have the remaining spell points and waiting for that to happen, and then I'll allocate.
And I asked if Arista was joining us or whether she's just going to camp outside of Cavern L.
I think she's maybe having just a moment of internal monologue about what she's done in that other room with those worms.
Well,
No,
I
I'm sorry. I had to go deal with something real quick.
Was going to congratulate her on that, but seeing she set out camp outside room Cavern L, I figured, yeah, not really possible right now.
I had drank a lot of tea.
So yeah, Arista, that was some
Couldn't
nice. Nice. We are going to need to go back there, though. I left a lot of arrows behind.
Neither of you are wounded, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend 1 point. Although what?
I used a lot of mana.
Yeah, I'm fixing to burn the rest of my mana up. Because I'm hoping to rest here. So I'm going to use 1 point for treat one of my wounds for first aid. Even is 1 point, odd is 2. So 2 points. And then I'm going to cast the healing circle once again. This is for Sorak. 9 points back.
He tells you thanks
For
in
me.
the way only a dour dwarf could do it.
And then 5 points back for me. Okay, I tapped out spell points. I stand.
So hole up for the rest of the night then?
I certainly hope so. I think that was the plan.
Veritan's going to take some strange black feathered arrows out of his backpack and restock his quiver.
What's his hit point recovery for Rod again?
Let's do level +1.
Okay. All right, so Rod gets 5 back. And I get 5 back. And I'm going to cast 1 Cure Light Wound spell on Sorak. Gets 8. And 1 on me. I get 5. All right.
All right, where to? What to?
I think we're going to camp out here overnight.
No, actually, so you've actually already done that. So you've slept a good 8-9 hours, right? And tore in the morning, so to speak, after the long rest. Cast a few more prayers for healing. So it's actually very early morning.
I go check on the remains of the doorway set fire to.
Yeah, I would say by now it's actually fairly clear. I mean, you could certainly smell the smoke at this point, the soot and smoke, but no, it doesn't oppose
when we
any.
get there, I will dispel the rune, static rune at the doorway. I exactly want to suddenly capture one of our party members there.
Where'd you get all those black-fletched arrows from, Vartan?
There was a couple of barrels of them somewhere that we found. I think we've got a bunch back in the underkeep too. Huh?
I thought you had used them all.
No, there were loads.
How's it looking here?
Sooty, ashy.
Sorak,
I'm gonna look around for like little chunks of like charcoal.
Sorak moves to the whatever remains of the door and inspects it.
Okay, yeah, it's a good call. As you suggest, it's the doors have been severely impacted by the fire. Very little of them remains, and what remains is all charred. So there's your coal for your components. Arista, start hacking some charred door.
Yep, need door pieces, charred door pieces. Little vials of ash.
As you look in the room, the room it looks like at the direct opposite end from the doorway there was some sort of fireplace. Although it's covered completely in black soot, and if there were any features on it, they've either melted or been burned away. There was what appeared to be a rug of some sort laying in front
It's
of the
probably
fireplace.
valuable and important, huh?
Could have been at one time, perhaps. There looks like it right out of the corner of the room there. You see some barrels, but they've also been severely damaged by the fire, and whatever was in them, the contents have sort of leaked on the ground. Perhaps some sort of wine or booze. Whoop! Before you move too far in, one last item. There is a chain that leads from the fireplace. It's a rather small chain, and the chain stretches to right about where Sorak is standing. So the top of number 4 there. The chain ends onto at a collar, and the collar is sitting on or wrapped around the throat of a rather large cat. A white cat who is sitting there licking its paws, looking at Sorak as he enters the room.
You like a domestic cat?
Yeah, somewhere between the size of a domestic cat and a bobcat, but it looks like a domestic cat.
Sorak will turn it, look at me over his shoulder with a questioning look and shrugs his shoulders. It's a cat. So I'll pass that back along the line.
Didn't you detect great evil in this room, Sorak? Before?
And then, I don't know, did he?
Yeah, when we were outside this room, that's why we burned the door down. And sorry, any cat that can survive all that smoke and just be licking its paws, I'm exceptionally skeptical of. Is
Yep,
the cat at the limit of the chain, or is there some slack?
No, there's just a little bit of slack, but it looks like it really couldn't get any farther away from the fireplace than maybe the end of the floor there.
Storax tokens slipped back a few squares as I asked that.
Yes. He would have seen this before he entered the room, so I'll let you take a couple steps back, or reverse the flow of time for briefly. And the cat is sort of, just like I said, sitting there on its haunches, completely white, no sign of soot or any kind of ash on it, and it seems nonplussed and sort of absorbed in cleaning itself, as cats want to do.
Okay, if Sorak doesn't want to, I'm going to cast Dust of Determination.
And all she's doing is detect magic.
Well, okay, so
I'm still poking Sorak in the ribs, saying, "Is it evil? Is it evil? Tell me, is it evil?"
And
Mark,
the cat,
make a roll?
as right.
Yes.
Hold on.
Dust
So let me get.
Determination determines alignment.
Well, it's sort of redundant, but the dust. So let's start with the dust. The dust falls oddly. It seems to avoid landing on the cat. It falls around the cat, but it glows in a way that suggests that it has detected an evil alignment, chaotic evil, and the same with Sorak. But as and their detect magic, you detect strongly a sense of magic emanating from the creature, and actually just sort of residual magic in the room itself. And as Baraton is elbowing Sorak in the ribs, the cat will look up briefly and look at Baraton and say, "Well, of course, I would detect as evil to you."
Did the chain emanate magic?
Yes, the chain also strongly magic, and sort of
discern
around it on the fireplace. So it's not just the chain, but it's how it's fastened seems magical as well.
I will lean over to Baraton and Sorak and sort of whisper that so that everybody's aware.
Did it just talk?
Yeah, I think it did.
And the cat will say, "Of course I've talked. What do you? Are you drunk? It's a little early to be drunk, aren't you? And aren't you a magic caster? Can't you detect these things?"
But you know that cats don't typically talk.
But I am no typical cat.
What kind of a cat are you?
Well, thank you for asking. I am actually a cursed cat. Your spells are deceiving you. I am not really truly evil. I've just been cursed. And the curse that's on me has unfortunately tainted all that surrounds me, my skin, all these barbaric mechanisms that keep me here, trapped in this room. I cannot tell you how long I've been kept in this room, a prisoner to those evil creatures.
What? Okay, so let's say that you're a cursed cat, and that you're a good cat. Let's go with that. How did you survive the fire?
Unfortunately, the curse protects me from anything that would do me harm. It's sort of I cannot tell you how old I am and how long this curse has been upon me, but there are many, many days now. I wish that we're no longer cursed and could just rest in peace.
We could probably take care of that for you.
Alas, I wish you could, but unfortunately you would not be able to.
There's no way that we could let you rest.
Do you have remove curse or anything similar? Sorry, please. Just to play it safe, not suggesting that it's telling the truth, but we can at least prove that it's lying.
If now that you've suggested it, if you could simply release me, at least I would no longer be imprisoned in this hellhole of a place, subject to the whims of these evil creatures.
So, quickly, tell me why you were cursed in the first place and in prison. But what was your crime, and why all this?
Well, I'm sort of just a victim of circumstance. I happened to be wandering by these caverns, and the creatures that perhaps you have encountered before, they looked a lot like insects. They captured me and were able to subdue me and cast this horrendous curse, and then kept me in this room. And I believe they intended to perform some sort of ritual on me, but I have not seen them in a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm going to suppose that you will tell me that there's no way for me to read his body language, given that he's a cat. Is that fair?
You could give it a shot. Give me a wisdom check.
I don't know how you play illusion, but is there any way that I can disbelieve that there is an actual cat here and survived this fire and it's chained up like this? I don't believe this is a cat. But I don't know if I can not believe it's a cat.
And I'd like to know if it's always been a cat by asking it that.
I guess, Vartan, you could make a wisdom check to see if you sort of a sanity check to see if you're able to rationalize this somehow.
Yeah, I dropped it in the tower.
Yes, alas, Tor, your check has failed as well as Varatan's. So no insight into what this cat is up to, nor whether it's truly there or not.
It's a Cheshire cat.
Well, we do something because the dust basically had around an outline of something. We know something's there. We also know that my spell that there was some type of magical element from that as well. So something is there, whether it's a cat or not, I guess remains.
Yes, well, I suppose you're wondering whether to believe that I'm truly here or not. I can only tell you that there are 4 of you and only 1 of me, and one of us is probably telling the truth.
Have you always been a cat?
I appear to you in the form that that is kindest and simplest for you to observe me in. I'm not truly from this plane, so this is just the form I've chosen to take.
Are you Maru?
Chosen because you look cuddly and fluffy and you would make people happy.
No, it's nothing silly like that. It's because I actually enjoy eating mice. From where I'm from, there are no such guilty pleasures, and I've allowed myself this one pleasure to become a hunter of small rodents.
I will whisper to my companions that I have the means of removing a curse if I decide that is warranted in this case. But I think we should put that in our back pocket for
Maybe we can find someone else who can remove a curse and bring them here.
No, I can remove a curse.
It pipes up, maybe you could take me to somewhere that could remove a curse, or just simply let me free.
Can you tell us a bit more about these creatures that captured you?
Well, I'm sure you've seen them, haven't you? I've heard a lot of clatter out in the hallways before the fire came. They're rather hard to miss. They're very large, bulky, sort of insect-like, spider-like, perhaps.
Certainly you can appreciate our hesitation. We're concerned that you might be lying and interested in doing us some kind of harm.
Well, I give you my word that no such thing. I desire no such thing. I simply would like to just be free to continue my mouse hunting ways.
So Sorak has the ability to use a spell called Expulsion of Pretense, and basically it allows to determine the intention of a target or group of targets. But it varies by mana spent. I don't know how much mana he has, but I'm assuming. Well, actually, I do know he's got here. So he's going to do that. He's going to cast Expulsion of Pretense spell. It's a minimum of 5, I think. Let me look. I'm not sure. It says 1 mana per. Yeah, yeah. So it's 1 mana per target, so you'd have to spend 1 for that, and that will end determining whether the friendly, foe, or neutral. An additional 1 may be able to determine if the target is attempting to caster, and maybe, yeah. So do you want to look at the spell and see if it's something that he could cast?
Yep, I'm checking it out real quick. Hang on.
Okay. It's a paladin special.
All right, and so I'm sorry. How many mana are you intending to spend on this?
Let's see. We'll do 1. 2 will tell us if he's trying to deceive us. 3 will help us what he's intending to do in your future towards the caster or part. We'll do 4 because fourth one will a strong memory or thought motivating the target. So basically, you should determine whether it's friendly, foe, or neutral, attempting to deceive us, attempting to what he's attempting to do in the near future towards us, and one story or thought that's motivating. So 4.
Okay, so as Sorak sort of quietly mumbles to himself, invoking this spell, several things start to flood his mind. The first is that at the moment, this creature seems to be rather neutral towards Sorak. He definitely gets the sense that the creature is trying to deceive the party, but he also gets the sense that the creature truly just wants to be free and wants to leave the area. So it does not seem as though the creature is immediately intending to harm the party. Although that's not with 100% certainty, because if you were perhaps to make some sort of threat, if you were to increase your threat or aggressiveness towards it, that may alter its decision making. And as far as the memory, you actually get a sense of a large number of very large insect-like creatures attacking the creature, sort of in the manner in which it described being overwhelmed. And that seems to be occupying its mind at the moment, is the memory of that happening.
So in his case, is he a cat?
It is the physical manifestation of a cat.
Okay. All right. So then sort of whisper that his companion all the details. It appears that he wants to be free. It does appear to be at least in the cat, whether that is his true form or not. He is cat. And at this point, at least, he doesn't intend to see anyone.
If it's trying to deceive us, is there any benefit to helping it? If it cannot be honest with us, there's something wrong. And it still emanates
Well,
as
perhaps.
evil. So,
Well, perhaps if we were to confront it with our awareness that it's attempting to deceive us, that it would be forced into being honest or inclined to be.
All right. Well, as you are sort of huddling and sharing this quiet discussion amongst yourself, it will certainly blurt out. Tell me, dwarf, what is your heart's desire? Perhaps I can help you attain it.
Um, actually, Mark, I don't know what his farce is. You'd answer that one.
Yeah, I know. I can't. It 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 asked it because the dwarf seemed to be studying it very carefully, and it could sense the dwarf was casting a spell on it. So, or
Well, then,
okay, so and
so
it will. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm inclined to let the cat go.
Well, the cat will turn
Then,
towards Tor, and it will say, I think I can guess yours. You're half orc. You desire to increase the value of orcs in the world, and you seek to find a bridge between orc kind and humankind. And tell me I'm wrong.
No, that is well said. Very perceptive of you.
Then perhaps I could help you with that. Perhaps I could be persuasive with those who would stand in your way stand in your way of achieving peace between orc kind and humankind.
So he looks momentarily interested, but sort of puts his hand on Tor's arm and cautions him for a second, and looks back to the cat and says, "We know that you are attempting to do this. My avatar has communicated directly with me. Are attempting to deceive us. Now that's immediately a deal for us, but we would prefer if you were to be honest with the means of resolving problems. But if you would just be honest, I'd probably feel more inclined to do so." And I don't know why Sorek's talking like Thor, but he talks like Sorek.
Yeah, that gruff, gravelly, dour way. Yes.
Right.
Well, perhaps I truly mean you no deception. Perhaps your spell is simply reflecting the fact that I appear to you in this physical form. As I've said, I'm not truly from this plane. I am not normally in this form. I've just chosen it because it affords me the ability to chase the yummy, small, furry things.
See, that's good enough for me.
I look down at Sorek and say, is that what they call you these days?
Oh, bird.
Oh, I don't think the dwarf would taste very well. If I'm being honest, the tall woman, she looks a little bit tasty, but I really am not in the mood for human.
Must be talking about you, Vartan.
There's a lot of toothpicks then.
Well, perhaps he would be willing to.
I'm not sure how we can.
Perhaps he'd be willing to give us some time to make our.
Perhaps if I give you my word as a cat, would that be good enough for you?
It's
I
good
don't know
enough.
that cats have done enough in the world to establish themselves as purely the honorable beast, but there might be some you can say or do.
How about gold? Do you desire gold or treasure?
Now I'm suspicious.
Sorry, says yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
sorry, did you say you're nutritious? No, I really am not in the mood for humans right now.
Suspicious. Suspicious. Why would you offer gold?
Because I have the ability to acquire it. It means nothing to me. I'm only interested in the sensation of warm mouse blood running down my throat as I eat, and the hunt that precedes it. But I have no use for gold.
No, this is not helping because you're offering us something that has no value to you.
doesn't have to have value to me. It has to have value to you. I value my freedom. You value gold. I can give you gold. Just give me my freedom.
You can't have been doing too much mouse hunting tied to that fireplace, that sort.
No, and I am very hungry.
Oh, I can find some mice.
I would rather have the freedom to hunt on my own.
I understand that need. Hey guys, we should totally just let the cat go.
I'm pretty sure we should just leave this cat here. And I'd like to say leave it to someone else's problem, but sooner or later,
I don't think it's a problem. I think that we should let the cat go, and then maybe it'll be friendly. Maybe it'll want to come with us.
this is not a nice kitty.
How do you know it's not a nice kitty?
Not a warm kitty, not a little bundle of fur.
Why not? What have you detected, or has it said, that would indicate that it is not a nice kitty?
I don't trust this kitty any further than I'd be willing to throw it.
Well, there's the problem. Stop throwing cats and you won't have problems with cats.
Yeah.
I'm going to move forward so I can let the kitty go.
Look at her skeptically. Arista, wait, that might not be the best idea. Yeah.
It's a nice kitty. What's wrong with the cat?
There's nothing wrong with
Right.
me. If
Yeah,
you
I'm
could
going
perhaps...
to glance back at the cat like, come on, man, help me out here.
Well, the fact that a whole race or at least members of a particular alien intellect or insect race decided that he was of significance or important enough to
A
blast
race that we
fireplace for
found.
who knows how long. That that been, I think, is definitely more than a cat.
But they were truly the evil ones. I mean, look at how evil the machinations of their devices have emanated their evilness. You saw it. You detected it. I'm not the evil thing. It's the collar. It's the device which keeps me here. That's what you're detecting.
But you attempt to muddy the water with soft lies and easy words. But the reality is that you are a cat that they lashed to a fireplace. Why? Why are you such things that they would feel it necessary to lash you, of all people, for, who knows, an extended period of time to a fireplace, to your eternal misery, for all they know? Why? You're not just a cat.
I have been giving this some thought. As you can imagine, I've had some time to think about it. Why would they have done this to me? At first, I thought it was because they were somehow able to extract some sort of essence from me, perhaps, some nefarious, soul-sucking enterprise of theirs. But in truth, I think it is as simple as they might worship the mouse. And perhaps I have stumbled and erred, and because they caught me when I was hunting, decided to torture me as a way to see me as a heretic, as an evil one to them, and so that's probably why they bound me so.
Or maybe they wanted a pet.
Yeah, I considered that for a few years, but I don't think that's it. They didn't really come in and treat me like a pet.
Years! They've kept it here for years. We should totally let the cat go.
Why would you suppose that they didn't just kill you if you were such a heretic?
I'm going to inch forward.
Because I think they intended to torture me. I don't know, you'll have to ask them. Didn't you encounter them on your way here?
See, this is my point. They were creepy enough for us to kill them. Why would we not believe they're creepy enough to keep this cat prisoner?
Dear,
So,
if you
I
could
guess
just
I
go
don't-
to that device on the fireplace, that lock, yes. And if
There
you
is the-
could just run your finger around the chain in a circle, that would probably release the chain, and I could finally be free.
I want to
might
pet
be
the,
one of the worst decisions you've ever made, or potentially could be. Think before you do it.
I want to pet the kitty first.
He will sort of extend his neck upward, as cats do, to anticipating a scratch behind the neck.
So here's my only dilemma. The object holding you here is evil.
Why should this be a dilemma
I
to you?
That brings it. That's the dilemma.
What's that, Tor?
I find it strange that that's the dilemma. If you were to imprison an evil creature, you would probably do it with an evil item. That seems to make sense to me. But the true dilemma is this being, which clearly is more than what he says. I don't remember encountering these insect creatures. Did we?
How is he more than he said? And yes, we have encountered insects before.
Okay. Was it when I was in the game?
I don't
Because
remember what was in these caverns. I remember the cyclops-like creatures.
Cyclops. You've encountered Cyclops, humanoid Cyclops.
But no insects in here. Huh?
I thought we had ants, or is that further over?
I think that was in one of the other caverns.
Yeah, that was quite some time ago in a cavern far, far away.
So here's my concern. If the contraption keeping the cat here is evil, then there's a good chance that in releasing the cat, we end up being the captured.
That's well reasoned.
So my little feline friend, this is my dilemma. As I've already said, I understand the desire for freedom.
You seem so intelligent, especially for a human. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, though. How could I capture you?
It wouldn't be you, it would be the thing holding you here.
But clearly it only holds me, and you've approached quite close, and no harm has come to you.
But I also haven't released you.
This is true, but as I think I've already said, I'll give you my word. And if that's not enough, I'm happy to exchange gold or treasure for my freedom.
But how would you know if the thing holding you here would entrap me or not?
I've had some time to study it, and it really only is designed to keep me in this room. It has no other purpose. It wouldn't even fit on your neck.
But it's magic. It might expand to fit my neck. Or maybe it would just kill me instantly by squishing my throat.
I am
While
quite
continuing
certain
that-
it would... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you go ahead. You can.
I am quite certain it wouldn't harm a single hair on that pretty head, nor would it harm that pretty neck of yours. You could always take a closer look.
So
if you like.
while that conversation, I caution her against that.
So
Give me some time.
detect magic directly at the device? Like,
It was Tor that was detected.
oh, it was Tor. Okay. I just want to know, is the lock a concern? Because he said to walk over to the thing at the fireplace and unlock it.
So I'm staying right here beside you. I look you in the eye and I say, till I come back, please. And then hoping that she listens, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to kneel down and enter into a prayer state, and I'm going to cast my augury. And I'm going to question whether releasing this cat would prove us woeful or would it be willful. I'm going to see if I can get an idea for what results would be if we release the cat.
I'm gonna pet the cat.
The cat will start purring. Give me a moment to check this spell.
Okay. I'll be right back then.
Okay, it looks like it has a 74% success rate for you. So go ahead and roll a D100.
Okay. I'll do it in the tower.
You can roll it in the open. You will know if it fails.
Okay. 10.
Whoa!
Or 1,
What?
actually.
Whoa!
What? Okay. Perhaps even surprising to you, you get an answer right away. You are in no immediate danger, but releasing this creature who is more powerful than you know could have dire consequences on the area or even the world. And you will also get a sense that this creature will not be bound here for forever. If you don't free it, it will eventually become free.
I see. Okay. So I'm back to here, I guess. And then I will, in whispered tones, I will connect to baritone and sorrow. That picture does not mean us any immediate harm, which we probably knew, but if we release him, it would be a great concern for the rest of the area around the region, potentially the world. But I was also made aware that the creature will not stay in cover.
Will not what?
Will not stay in prison ever.
Catching the kitty. We're having a conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Ethan just came down and he's got some computer problems he was bothering me with.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But then, is there anything we can do to secure it, to prevent or delay its release as much as possible? But if we can't, and it will ultimately be free, then do we take advantage of the situation as best we can? If we ask for a boon each on the sole condition that we release it, if it will be released anyway, perhaps we can make advantage of those boons to mitigate the damage.
Well, to be clear, I was not given any insight on how long it would be before it would be released, or it may be another eon or so before this becomes an issue. You know, I understand the logic behind trying to finish with a bad situation.
Yeah, but realistically,
What would say more?
How long can we secure it here before some creature or another sets it free? Unless we were to bring down the entire mountain on it. And who's to say
And
bring down
that may not,
units help free him? Or
yeah,
it?
that may not even stop him. Creature is apparently of a great deal of power.
In its current situation, I cannot see it staying here for long. So either we find a way to secure it, or we take advantage of the situation as best we can.
I think Sorak would probably be advocating to kill it, because I think he would be fixated on the fact that there's evil, that there's such a strong sense of evil coming from either it or its chains or whatever. I just have that feeling.
If we could kill it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm
we
sure
would know
Sorak
it
would be
from-
that, like that.
from Tor. If it was even an option, I'm sure Tor would know it.
So perhaps we should bring Arista into our call now and get her feedback.
Yeah.
So I'll make a gesture to you, Arista, to sort of step this way, if you would, please. I know.
Oh,
Kathy, her
I'm sorry,
will.
push to talk. What's my new friend's name? I'm sure I've talked to it enough by now to have found out. Mark.
You actually haven't asked
Mark?
it. No, you haven't. You haven't asked it.
What's your name, buddy?
Sorry, give me 1 second. You may call me Patches.
Say, Patches, do you know anything about the mountain that's north of here?
I know of many mountains. You'll have to be more specific.
The one that recently erupted and had big metal bug things walking around on it.
I thought there might have been some sort of disturbance like that. I felt the tremors. Describe these bug things to me. How big were they?
Big silvery things. I'm not sure exactly how big, but I could see them from a distance.
Were they as big as a person or even bigger?
Possibly bigger.
Well, that is probably not very good then. That means that they've been released. And I fear for what reprisals may come from that. Do you know which way they went?
I only saw them on the mountain. What do you mean they've been released?
That mountain, if it's the one the one I'm thinking of, it's a volcano, what was once a dormant volcano, but seems like it's no longer dormant.
Yes, that one.
Yes, a day or so ride north of here. Yeah, that was actually a prison for these creatures. And since you saw them out and moving about, it would then follow that they've been somehow released.
Wonderful.
It would
Thank
take
you.
a great device to break the bondage of these creatures. Did you notice anything peculiar about the area or the event in which caused them to be released?
There was a funny blue light.
That's very interesting. And the blue light came from the creatures, or was it from something else?
No, it wasn't from the creatures.
Okay, what was it from?
It's coming out of the windows of a house.
Was there a large cylinder nearby?
I mean, it was in a town, so there's barrels. Why do you ask about a large cylinder? Should I go back and look for one?
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just curious. You might explain the blue light, but since you can't be sure, then perhaps it
What's a
was
large
just some sort of...
cylinder mean?
Oh, it would mean that it would be a device that was used to imprison the creatures.
You mean the device imprisoned them, and when the device maybe got broken, then they were released?
No, you can think of the device more like a source of power. It would have powered the
prison.
the prison, yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And
And does
unless
it
you were
normally glow blue or only glow blue when it's broken?
the kind of energy that would be stored in it is a blue kind of energy.
I see. I'll have to go back and check and see. Oh, but if you could excuse me for just a minute, my friends over here would like to speak with me.
Yes, I know. They're talking about the prayer which the orc uttered in the next room. You should go talk with them.
How do you know that?
I have a cat's ears.
The real name is Orwell.
Okay. What is it? What's up, guys?
I believe we're on the result of my Augury spell. Did you overhear what I said before?
No, unfortunately, I had a young child that was whining at me about his
While
computer.
you're out of the room, he had a percentile dice roll to see how successful it would be, and he rolled a 1.
Oh,
Very
great.
good for once. Yeah. So basically, here's the summary. The creature doesn't mean it or doesn't isn't be a danger to us, but it's much more powerful than it lets on. Releasing the creature would be bad for the countryside, as well as potentially but the creature will not stay in forever. I think how much longer it will stay in prison, but at some point the creature will be released. There has been some discourse as to whether or not release them, asking for a boon, and then just bite the bullet on whatever happens down the road or not.
So here's the thing. Does the one, is that good or is that bad?
When it gets
Is what good or bad?
Is the implication.
Well, you rolled a 1 on a D100.
Oh,
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's perfect. It's like a critical roll. Yeah, critical make.
Okay, so you were told roll low.
But yeah, it was a 74% chance. So I got that.
Okay, I was just double checking. All right, so you know that the cat's going to get out no matter what.
Eventually. But
At some point, that could be, yeah.
So I have been positing
exactly.
that either we find a way to secure it here for the millennia to come or as much as possible, or we take advantage of the situation, ask for a boon for releasing him, and then make the most of whatever situation comes. Because at the moment, I can't see how it's going to be secure here for long at all if we can't do something like collapse the mountain on top of it. And even then, that might free it for all we know.
Well, and here's the thing: is we're certain that releasing the cat would be bad.
Yeah, yes, we're confident that the cat being out on its own would be willful for the suicide at some point. We don't well know what that means. It would be a harbinger of doom for probably many.
I would even say maybe catastrophic, but catastrophic, get it?
Yes.
Wait, so was the
Nice.
it was releasing the cat would be bad for the
area,
world or
the
for
It seems to-
near? Because if it were
potentially
bad
the
for near
world.
here, there's lots of baddies here.
No, potentially the world, up to
Yeah,
the scale of the world.
Yeah, the impression was potentially a positive level threat.
I feel like after the conversation I just had with this cat, that we need to consult Mara.
I'd love to go chat with our little friend in the woods, but it's not like we can do that anytime soon. I don't think I've got a rune there. I really should have put a rune at our little
But
friend.
we could
in the
put
woods.
Anoka, couldn't we?
We can get to Ionoka, but as long as this cave is exposed while we're gone, someone could be setting it free. Yeah?
Yes, there's that chance, but at least we could get to Mara and talk to her.
So here's the thing. As far as decision making, the more people that are involved in decision, the more analysis through paralysis or paralysis through analysis may occur. I feel like we are all well-intentioned enough to make a good enough decision here instead of bringing in extra voices that may tend to muddy the water further.
All right, well then you need the full information and I can't give it to you here.
Okay,
You mean you
then
have information
perhaps
that
we
don't know?
Well, if you don't trust the cat and the cat knows exactly what you were doing in the next room, whatever I tell you now, the cat will know.
Okay, but we can go back to Cavern
Well
A,
reasoned.
maybe.
Back to where?
Cavern A might be out of earshot.
It could be. Hey, Patches, I may be a little bit, but I'll come back.
Oh, let's not kid each other. You're not coming back. You have no intention of freeing me. I shall probably have to spend another couple centuries here. But that is okay.
Oh, the drama.
he is a cat. So it sounds like we're going over to Cavern A to more conversation.
We're conversating.
Okay. So pretend we're there, or do we need to move our tokens?
I moved
That's
it.
Or
We're right at 4, so we need to kind of start wrapping this up. So you don't actually have to move your tokens if you don't want. Yeah, we can just say that you moved out of earshot. I think that's good enough.
Okay. So I want to tell, do you guys all, Pete, I think you've been there from the beginning, right? No,
No,
it was
died.
Charles who says. Okay, so I mean, was it only me and Charles to start with, Mark?
No,
There
actually,
were only two of us.
I wasn't there at the absolute beginning. No, I came after you had come down from whatever volcano and stuff. I met you in Holgrim.
Yeah, so we're actually talking about session 1 information.
we are,
And
and if you like, I can probably refresh your memory on a few points if that's what you're asking or heading towards.
I don't think I need refreshing on it. I feigned. I mean, yes, obviously there was a cylinder. So way back in the first session, I was in a inn with a friend having drinks, and suddenly the earth began to shake. A local volcano erupted. There were giant silver, and I think that they were bigger than people, weren't they, Mark?
They were quite large. They were maybe 70, 80 feet tall.
Oh, see, and I was thinking they were more like the size of tanks, so they're even bigger than I thought. But they were big enough for me to be able to clearly see them from where I was, which is miles from the volcano.
No, you weren't.
But
You weren't miles. You were about a quarter mile, half a mile down the slope. So that was not quite that far away. Less than a
okay,
mile.
okay. So we're near this volcano. It erupts. We have to escape town. As we're leaving, we hear something happen in this one house with a bunch of blue light coming out of it. So we climb. We run into the house. I think we have to climb through the window to get in, and we rescue this woman from underneath a large cylinder that had been emanating this blue light. And actually almost died doing it because she was caught in its power and then I got caught in its power, but then we got pulled out. So we got pulled out of this thing and we knew it had something to do with the volcano and the eruption. It turns out that the woman we rescued was Mara, and we got on a ship and sailed downstream toward Holgrim, I think. There was some sort of kraken creature. And one of the lockets, the pendants, the heart pendants, that has to do with having favor with a particular group. I think we still have it. Was given to us, and we ended up, I think, in Holmgren at that point.
That we've got the deep blue sapphire pendant associated with Rangers of the North. Yeah.
Yes, Rangers of the North. That's it. So we ended up at Holmgren, and then we went back because Mara needed to go back, and she needed to get something. But when we got there, there were these creatures that were not nice at all, and they had collars on, and the collars were, and the creatures attacked us. But the collars appeared to have another creature that was like controlling them by the collars. And in fact, I think we still have the collars stowed under the keep at this point. And Mara had this like doorway in her basement that her sister was able to zap in through and take her out of. But we got left behind. And then we found a secret room because Mara left us the hints for it. Actually, I think I had to be wearing this one particular item, this locket or something. And when I got near the room, I could get into it. And that's where we picked up the dagger that TPK'd the first party. Because behind the wall in her house was the purple worm.
Oh.
Have I explained enough here? What did I miss, Mark?
But you haven't given us any context of why that should influence our decision for the cat.
Well, the cat did just tell us about the blue cylinder and gave us some information about the blue cylinder, which is more than anyone has ever given me in this entire campaign.
But that does imply that he has some great knowledge and therefore is a very powerful creature, potentially, which should mean we should err on the side of caution.
Mara also had clearly knowledge about the creatures, but wouldn't share it. And we trusted her.
You mentioned the collars. Were they at all similar to the one that the cat
That's
has,
a very
or
good
completely
question. I
different?
have no idea. I don't think that they have anything to do with each other, but it's possible. We'd have to. I suppose I've been close enough to the collar to know if it looks like those.
So the cat's collar, was it in any way similar to the other collars we've seen? Because you've been pretty close to the cat, and like you said, I think we got rid of the collars at some point when we had a clean up. So I don't think we have them anymore, but we certainly had them. So you should be able to know if they're similar in any way.
Mark?
Give me an intelligence check.
Is that I've seen the collars? Is that for me or is that from?
Actually, both of you. Actually, you can give me one too because she's failed hers.
Sorak, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mine was in the tower. I'm not sure what my result was.
That's okay. Sorak thinks they look similar. He can't be 100% certain, but they do have some similarities. The collar itself, the chain is just sort of a nondescript chain. So
So now I'm even more certain that the cat is a prisoner. Unjustified prisoner.
We know that the cat is a prisoner, but we also know that releasing it can be catastrophic. But that doesn't influence our decision in much. I'm just
Well, perhaps-
afraid that if we go to Ayanoka, by the time we come back, the cat will be gone. So
The creatures that were in Mara's basement, do they resemble the cat's description of insect creatures?
no, that much you can be probably pretty certain of.
Well, perhaps if we were to we do decide to ask the cat for boons, if we can somehow determine whether those boons are binding, perhaps we could ask him to remove himself from the chessboard, basically, promise not to damage this planet or whatever, or, something like that. Maybe we could ask him to just civilize himself.
So I'm advocating that we go to Ayanoka, find Mara, and ask her to come back here and see the cat.
yeah, as I say, I'm not comfortable leaving it unattended for that amount of time.
The cat could even
Don't
be
we have
the
a
one that Mara was working with.
don't we have a room in Inokai?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, one or more of us could go there. Or one more there, and the rest of us could stay here and go. I know it's always a bad idea to split the
Someone needs
party,
to
but
get Mara back, so I would need to go in any case. Otherwise, it's a one-way trip. But
Yeah.
in between setting up a rune there, ruining us there, ruining us back, and setting up another return rune there, that would cost me 3, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I can do it. I could just about do it. I have 10 rune use today because I've not spent any, so I can do it, and we can be back the same day. But I'm not up to much else rune-wise, so it's going to wipe me out for the day.
Well, there's a good chance that Mara could get us back here.
I'll volunteer to stay and watch sure that the cat doesn't get released accidentally.
And I feel like I have to go since I'm the one that has a relationship with Mara.
I pretty much have to go. So that means Tor and Sorak stay, and we go. We get back as soon as we possibly can.
So two things
Yay,
real quick.
the party.
As much as I hate to risk not having that happen, you may recall, I believe the last time you saw her at the Abbey, she had mentioned that she needed to leave to go be with her mentor. That was quite some time ago.
Yes.
In terms of session time. The second thing, and I'm saying this not because it really has any direct impact here, but one thing I think you may want to make a note of, because it did happen that first session, was there were 2 men in town that I believe you saw in the tavern, and then shortly before the volcano event happened, they were gone. They were not in the tavern with you. And in the chaos that ensued when you were all fleeing down towards the river to escape on the boats, they were already on the other side of the river, having somehow gotten a jump on you, or everybody actually. So, and that was the last you saw of them. So,
Yes. but we don't know anything about them at all.
No, but that their appearance was should have been strange. The fact that they were on the other side of the river by the time the town got to the river. So
Right. It was clear that they knew to get across the river before everybody else did.
correct.
And everybody was heading for the river because lava.
Okay.
And large shiny
So then is it,
Come again?
Lava and large. Oh, go ahead.
What I propose at this point is we take advantage of the time between this session and next and actually have a discussion, our in-game discussion via Guilded in chat, and then take action when we get back next time.
Sounds good.
Because I think it gives us a little bit more time to think about it and mull it over, look at the pros and cons, and think of anything else, any other action we might take, and then come to a conclusion in chat so that everyone has consensus. That also gives Sorak an opportunity to weigh in, given that he's not actually here. I think whatever we choose should be a party decision, even though he's not here.
Yeah.
Tor, what were you going to say?
I was basically just going to say, how does that impact our decision? But basically, we've just addressed that. How does the fact that Mara may or may not be an Inokai, I'm not sure mentor is.
Yeah, we don't know who her mentor is. She's never told us.
So that, yeah, we can discuss more options.
And it's interesting because she seems to be one of the most powerful magic users in her sisterhood. So for her to have a mentor that's even more powerful than her is pretty significant.
Well, it would take someone like that to firm up this prison for this cat. There's nothing that we could do, sort of nobody. It's going to take a high Dwemer crafter to be able to firm this thing up so that it never gets away, if that's the route we decide to go.
The other thing is this volcano may have something to do with the Void Walkers.
Something? Meaning triggered it, or what do you mean by something?
I don't know, but I had the impression that the volcano and the Void Walkers were somehow linked. Although the Void Walkers had been emerging for at least a year, 6 months to a year, before the volcano erupted.
So what I can see is I don't think this cat thing is in any way linked to the volcano erupting and the chaos that's come from that. But he may be, or it, whatever, may be able to provide you with some answers as a boon. But then we need to look at the consequences of freeing it now rather than holding that off for as long as possible.
Right, which is why I'm saying consult someone who knows more of magic.
Yeah, but we can get to Enokai quickly, but as reminded, the likelihood is that Mara's not there. We can't get
But her
to
sisterhood is.
But I'm not convinced they're powerful enough to do it. They were pretty wiped out after dealing with our shard. They lost four of their best then, didn't they?
Powerful enough to do what?
To do anything about this cat creature, whatever it is.
I
At least
think that they're plenty powerful enough to have
be able to,
some knowledge of the cat and whether or not releasing it would be a problem.
Well, we know
Or
that
what the
releasing
nature
it
of that
will be
problem
a
would
problem.
be.
at least
And
they
say
maybe
don't
tell us
release
where
it,
she
it's
is.
dangerous. That doesn't address the fact that we can't hold it either. And if they're not capable of holding it, then what's the advantage that we've gained through taking the time out to discuss with them?
And I think Tor is suggesting that her sisterhood may even be able to tell us where she is, or recall her.
At least that, yeah. I still think the Eno kind of has some merit. If you guys still want to.
Well, if everyone is mostly of the consensus that we should go, I'm up for going, but I'm just skeptical that we will get sufficient benefit from it. And when we come back, I am going to be wiped out from being able to do much else. So if then we do talk to him and
Will there be more of that?
Yeah, so we probably should talk about this online.
Be more
'cause I also
guys
have
to.
concerns about splitting the party.
Yeah, there is that as well.
Because I'm afraid that Sorek and Tor will be easily overwhelmed.
I don't think so. Until today, nothing has come close to doing it. But as long as they stay away from those flesh eaters, they should be fine.
Well, if the cat is as dangerous as you think, and it's eventually going to get out, then it eventually may get out while they're there.
They just
and overwhelm
stop anything else from getting in until we're back. That's the
I wouldn't be recommending that we be in there with the cat. We'd be inside the cave converting just to make sure nobody else got in. But yeah, we can talk more about that online. That sounds good.
Okay, I suggest we park it, deal with it online, get Sorek involved, and try and make a reasoned decision. Whether that be to go to Inokai, whether it be to drop the mountain on this cat and somehow hope he stays sealed forever, whether it be making some sort of deal with him, or just leaving him there and forgetting about the whole sorry business. I think Sorek should be involved as well. So, or a suicidal attack on it, even. No, thank you.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thanks very much for the session, Mark. It's been it's taken a nice little twist at the end, giving us something to chew on there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I think you've been debating for like 40 minutes about what to do with the cat. I kind of didn't expect that, honestly.
Well, what did you think? We'd just try and kill it? We'd set it free, or we'd walk away and ignore the thing?
Yeah, I kind of expected Vartan to just kill it, like, without discussion.
No, Vartan's not going to just
try, right?
I'm not a bloodthirsty psychopath, you know?
Yes, you are.
Blow open that door. I got the arrows notched.
Yeah, that's at most stuff in the complex. I tried to burn the cat. It didn't burn, so now I'm up for giving it a chance. Is that so strange? It's like the trial of witches. This witch floated, you know.
Too funny.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys next week. Good session. Much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.
Bye.